Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Titan del 86. Here you will find everything from your favorite characters from anime, series or movies such as figures, statues, trading cards, and other limited special edition items. I will show you everything that is included. For example, we will discuss the design of the box, how it's packaged, the design of the figure, the articulation points, the accessories that are included, and we will see our favorite characters in special scenes. And you never know, you might see other characters make special guest appearances, so you can decide whether it's worth getting or not. Subscribe and join me on new weekly adventures. Now let's start the show. Let's go. Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my channel. My name is Titan del 86 and today from S.H.Figuarts and Demon Slayer I present to you Akaza. This is Upper Moon 3. The overall design of the box is following the similar pattern that we've seen from the other S.H.Figuarts figures that are coming out from Demon Slayer. So in this one you get more of a maroon red type color, highlighting Akaza's color, which matches the vest. If you remember, a while ago we did the BUZZmod version of Akaza, so we will do a one-to-one comparison between this figure and see who did it better, S.H.Figuarts versus BUZZmod. Upon removing Akaza from the box, you can see that he comes with 5 different expressions, and he doesn't have that many hand gestures compared to the BUZZmod counterpart where we had 4 expressions, and that one came with plenty of different hands that you could use with the figure. So here we're already starting to see some limitations between what S.H.Figuarts did versus what BUZZmod did. If you watch my video of Akaza from BUZZmod, you would have seen that we also got plenty of effect parts, which here they're lack of. So it would have been nice if S.H.Figuarts would have given us some special effect parts along with more hand options. Here's a quick look at the instructions that come with the figure. So it shows you how to attach the different hands, and it also shows you that you can lift the torso to get more range of movement. Then it's also showing you the special axis section for the leg so you can get good rotations out of it. So I think that's the special new technology that we're seeing here. And then it talks about the tassels if they come off, and this is the picture for reference so you can put them back on. So hopefully we don't face that, because that was one of the frustrating things from the BUZZmod figure. It also gives you a warning about the vest that it can deform, but if it does, it tells you to use your fingers to basically bend it back. It also wants you to be very careful so you don't damage it. This is the 360 of Akaza straight out of the box. For the most part, I expected the figure to have a little bit more details. The details seem to be lacking. You can still see the muscle structures and everything, but if I remember correctly from the BUZZmod version, that one looked a lot more muscular than this one. Or I should say much more toner, even though Akaza's body physique is very toned and muscular. But on this one it feels like he forgot to put the baby oil on. The other thing is you have the markings on the face, which on this one for some reason I feel like it doesn't make the eyes pop. It kind of makes the eyes blend in. The vest is made out of the soft plastic material and is divided into 3 sections. One thing to note, you can see the different joints within the legs, which I think this is going to be the specialty of this figure. It's going to be the leg range motion. So you can see that the upper thighs is divided and the knees, they come in with this huge U shape for an impressive cut. So let's see how much bend we get out of those knees. The other thing is on this one you can really see the separation between the abs compared to the lower chest and the waist. He does have some really good details, but against the BUZZmod one I think they are coming a little bit short, and I'll show you that later on when we do the one-to-one comparison. Now let's check out what articulations come with this Akaza from S.H.Figuarts. He's got good head movement from left to right. This is as low as you can see. This is as high up as you can see. Overall, for neck movement and head joint, it's really good. This is as high as the arms can go. Similar to the Dragon Ball S.H.Figuarts, he's got that extension piece for the shoulder to extend. And as you can see, that is kind of where the section of the vest is attached to, which I think this is the only drawback on these types of figures. Even though they're not using a fabric type outfit, it does lose the perception of it once you start seeing how it's separated into the 3 different joints here. So you can see that it starts to lose the perception of it being one fluent piece once you start flexing the figure. But this is as center as the figure can go. This is as far back. And you can see here, hopefully the camera can capture it, but there seems to be another piece here of separation within the shoulder. So you have the extension piece, which is tucked into the back side right here, and then you have the other piece towards the top end right there. Can you see that? And you can see that the figure is hollow, so you can see right through it. So you can see that the extension piece is basically stretching all the way to the top where it's got a cutout. So here it's like a U-shaped cutout. So that's kind of the mechanism that gives you that flexibility, which is something that we haven't seen in any of the other S.H.Figuarts before. Here's 360 of the arm, 360 of the bicep. If you recall, the BUZZmod figure didn't have this particular joint here. Here's the elbow. It's got some nice smooth joints, which I'm really liking. The wrist, good up and down. Look at that. It's got chest movement. It's got some torsional rotation there, but it's mostly going to come out of the chest, as you see here. And if you want further motion, you can see that here by extending the back. The tassels move just like the instructions said. And you can get the helicopter motion, but they all move. And they're made out of the soft rubber material similar to the vest. And you also got good side movement. Now let's see if the figure really is going to shine, since this is the specialty of the figure, is the leg movement. This is as high as the leg goes. That is really good. Look at that. This is as far back as it goes. And because they gave you that special access, he can do a good split, but it's supposed to give us also a nice 360. So look at that. Whoa. So you can see the rotation within the hip right there. You see the joint? So this is a specialty of this figure that we haven't seen before of S.H.Figuarts executing this type of joint. It's got some really good thigh rotation there. There's the knee. And as you can see, it makes the big U shape, so it loses the hiddenness of the joint. So the joint becomes fully exposed now, which I'm not sure if I really like that. I think for me, I prefer the two joint attachment feature of the knees, because at least at that point it will still make it as a continuous piece, where here now you start to see in the gaps within the figure. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts on that. It's got some articulation point right here between the calf and the knee. I don't know if you can get 360 out of it, but it does show some rotation there. The beats on the ankles do not move. Get good 360 off the ankle. This is as far up as it goes, and this is as far down. And then I'm sure you can get inner and outer based on the angle. If you see there, I'm sure you can rotate that. As you can see, the piece is rotating within the beats. You see that? So I'm not rotating the ball joint of the ankle. I'm actually rotating the little midsection piece that's holding the beats. There's your toes, which is really good, but they don't go down. This is inboard, and if you rotate it at the right angle, you could probably get a good outboard as well. So overall, he's got some really good articulations. We see some new technology being applied to here, especially within the hips and also within the calves and the knees. I'm not too crazy about the joints in the knees though, so we'll see as we continue going forward with the figure. But there you have it. Looking at the first expression, it shows him with a smiling grin. You can really see his teeth there. The second expression shows a smile. The middle one is basically a neutral one. The fourth expression has the smile. Then the final one is more of a talking expression. There you can really see the good details of the demon teeth. So overall, I really like the array of the expressions that we got with this Akaza. I do like that we got more expressions than what BUZZmod offered, but I think the ones in BUZZmod might have been a little bit more detailed. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts. One thing to note, behind the faceplates of the Akaza expressions, you can see some lettering, which goes from B, C, D, E, leaving expression A to the one that came pre-attached to the figure, which match the engravings that are in the blister pack. So that way you know exactly which expression goes where within the blister pack. In comparison with the Akaza expressions that came with the BUZZmod one, even though that one only had 4 expressions, this one has 5. But if you watch my video of the BUZZmod Akaza review, you would have noticed that 3 of those expressions are the same ones that S.H.Figuarts have captured. But the only thing is that BUZZmod had one particular one that is not captured in the S.H.Figuarts, which is the sad one. So I ended up recycling this scene, which is very similar to the first scene I did for the BUZZmod Akaza. If you watched that video, if you haven't, I suggest you go check it out. But I just wanted to see how different this new leg joints will really do at the hip compared to the BUZZmod figure. So this is basically the outcome of that. Obviously it's not a 1-for-1 because I didn't really want to 100% copy it, so I added some extra accessories to make the badass scene, which is the same one of when Akaza first entered in Mugen Train, the movie. So here you have Akaza's putting force where he split the ground from his entrance. So here I added the ground piece, and I added an effect part to show the force when Akaza first appeared in the movie. I gave them the smiling expression. What I wanted to see was the extra joints from the S.H.Figuarts, if that really helped recreate the scene in a 1-for-1. And obviously it's not full 100%. I would say this one probably got us there more like 85%, where the BUZZmod was more of a 60%. And some of the things that help is having that extra articulating point between the upper abs and the lower chest. The other thing that helps a lot is that extension piece within the shoulder. But the real key player here is the joint that is done within the hips. The only thing that I'm not liking, and it's the similar thing that we saw with the Kyojo S.H.Figuarts figure, is the U shape at the knees. I feel like that is causing some of the limitation within the figure. And the other thing that I don't like about the figure is obviously the plastic pieces for the vest. So as you can see, once you look at him from the backside, it makes it look as if he has ripped the vest from the backside, because you know it was really tight. For this scene, I have Akaza and Rengoku fighting. This is one of the scenes where Akaza was throwing a kick and Rengoku blocked it with his sword. I gave Akaza the smiling expression because he was just having too much fun fighting with Rengoku, while Rengoku's got the grunting expression as he's trying to resist Akaza's attacks. In case you're wondering, this is the Rengoku from BUZZmod, and if you have not checked out my review for him, I suggest you go check him out. He's really good, especially when it comes to the details. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts. If you like what you're seeing, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and share the video. I also added some very cool flame effect parts that I found, and honestly I didn't know that the fire flame effect part also came in black. So this is what you're seeing here, of how opposite these two characters really are, with the fire representing that. One of the things that I want to highlight here again was to show that special joint movement of Akaza's legs, where you really have an L-shaped type of pinion. The straight comes out of the crotch area. So the way that the articulations are within the hips, hopefully the camera can capture that mechanism there, is you have a pinion that comes out, but within that pinion you get the horizontal rotation, which is what allows for the legs to open freely, but it also rotates 360 in the up-down direction. So when you pair that with the cut that they did in the upper thigh, you can get another 360 out of it, which allows you to get further movement, which you wouldn't get if this figure didn't have that particular setup for the joints. Follow me on IG at Titan86. I haven't seen this type of joint style within the S.H.Figuarts. So this is the first one, which makes poses like this possible, of just getting more range out of the legs without it interfering with the crotch area. And honestly, I think you would have gotten a little bit more flexibility in movement if the crotch section was made out of that soft plastic, similar to how Akaza's vest is. I think the figure would have been better. For this scene, I have Akaza with a neutral expression, and here he's gearing up to do the compass needle. I wasn't really gonna do this particular scene because I did it with the BUZZmod version, but I did it anyway just so you can see some of the differences between the two figures if you checked out the video, or if you're gonna go check it out afterwards. That way you can have another comparison of the similarities and differences between the two figures. One thing that I did here is I did take the compass needle effect part from the BUZZmod Akaza, but I also added the black flame effect parts. The one thing that I did want to highlight on this particular one is I would have loved to have gotten more hand gestures, because he only comes with a very limited set. He only comes with 2 sets, and he comes with the palm one, which is the one that you see here specifically for this particular scene. But it doesn't really give you room to actually do that pose because you're missing the effect parts that go along with it. And that is something that BUZZmod got right on their Akaza, is that their particular Akaza came with a lot of different effect parts, one of them being the compass needle, as well as the quick energy blast that he emitted when he was fighting Rengoku, where this S.H.Figuarts doesn't give you anything. To me, it seems like S.H.Figuarts did the very minimum on this particular figure, but the only true highlight was what they did at the hips and within the crotch area to give you the range of motion. That is the only good thing that this figure really has going for. Other than that, the details, they're not as strong as I would have loved to have seen them. Don't get me wrong, they're good, but I think most of the technology or the focus for this figure went into that hip joint movement. But other than that, the figure was basically plain. I do like that they gave us lots of different expressions.
Technique development. Destructive death compass needle.
For this scene, I have Akaza ready to counter-strike Rengoku. On this one, I gave them the smiling expression where he shows him talking, and it just shows the excitement that he's having fighting Rengoku. To me, this is my favorite expression out of this figure. It really captures the spirit and joy that Akaza has for the martial arts. Similar to how Goku is, I think him and Goku would get along just fine, since Goku likes to fight really strong adversaries, and it seems that Akaza also enjoys the same thing. It's almost as they are the same person, except obviously one is a good guy, the other one is a bad guy. For this one, I added the action effect part that came with the BUZZmod version of Akaza. And one of the unique things about this action effect part is that it attaches directly to the joint of the figure. But the one key difference between the BUZZmod figures and the S.H.Figuarts figures is the pinions. The BUZZmod ones don't have a ball joint at the end, where the S.H.Figuarts ones do. So therefore, it's not a direct swap that you could do between the effect part of the BUZZmod Akaza versus the S.H.Figuarts version. So here, just manipulating the angles and all that, I was able to get it in a resting position to help captivate the scene that I'm going after. The one thing I would have loved to have seen on this one would have been more toner details, especially when compared to his counterpart from BUZZmod. That BUZZmod figure of Akaza has a lot of more tones, and it has a better paint job in my opinion. With this one, the paint job is softer, and because the sculpture of the details are not strong, it makes it really blend in, giving it a really dull look, especially within the face. There you can kind of see that it's got too much going on, where it's just not reflective enough, where the good details of the eyes are lost, which is something that the BUZZmod figure stays true to. Let me know what are your thoughts on this figure. If you notice, the hair is divided into 4 sections, where the back piece tends to move up and down just to give you the upper head movement. So in this one, Rengoku is coming at Akaza from above, and Akaza is ready to counter strike. I also added the flame effect parts because why not? It just makes the intensity a lot better in my opinion. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts. Once again, I'm taking advantage of the special joints that Akaza has within the hips. In this scene, I redid the final fight between Akaza and Rengoku. This was at the big Climax battle of Mugen Train. If you recall the video from Akaza by BUZZmod, I basically did the same exact scene here. The only difference is obviously these are S.H.Figuarts figures versus BUZZmod figures. And this one is a little bit after the math of Akaza trying to pull his arm from Rengoku, and Rengoku almost beating him to the point where Akaza started to detach his parts because the sun was coming out, and now you have Inosuke ready to join the fight. So Inosuke is coming down with an aerial attack ready to help Rengoku. So at this point Akaza knew that he couldn't beat him because of the sun. So at this point Akaza is thinking of retreating. So Akaza's got the expression with the teeth gritting, and if you really look at that expression very closely, you can see that his eyes are very narrow at this point. And this is because he's no longer interested in fighting Rengoku. Now he's more focused about survival because of the sun that's coming out. So in this one, Rengoku is just more focused on keeping Akaza where he's at. Either he's slicing his head off or the sun's gonna come out. In case you have not checked out my video of Rengoku by S.H.Figuarts, I suggest you head over there and check it out. That one is a really good figure. The execution on it is very superb. And if you want to take a step further, on that video I compare it with its BUZZmod counterpart. Also, in case you missed it, you can check out my review of Inosuke by BUZZmod as well. So I wonder when we're going to get an S.H.Figuarts version of that Inosuke, because that figure was also phenomenal. Overall, this Akaza figure is really good. The articulating points are phenomenal. Once again, S.H.Figuarts did a good job with the figure. The biggest downfall that I see on this figure is not only that the details are not strong enough, but it's how they went about the vest form. I'm not really liking that every arm movement that I've done so far causes the vest to split in the back. I think if they would have gave it like a movable joint, since the vest is attached to the shoulders of Akaza, in my opinion, I think they should have did like a pinion attachment of the vest within the shoulder piece to allow it to rotate. That way you can move the vest as well to help cover in those gaps, so you're not always seeing that big parting line between the three segments. Or if they would have just blended in and made it part of the body, I think that would have also have worked, similar to how they do with the Dragon Ball figures, where it's just basically part of the outfit. A good example would have been Ultimate Gohan. Let me know in the comments what are your thoughts. But other than that, I think the figures got some really good execution, especially in their articulations.
The sun is rising. I have to get away.
Beast breathing. Bang one.
Here's a 1-to-1 comparison between the two Akazas. The one on the left is from BUZZmod, the one on the right is from S.H.Figuarts. For starters, one of the key differences between the two figures is the color tone. As you can see, the BUZZmod Akaza to me has a better paint job than the one from S.H.Figuarts. The other thing is the S.H.Figuarts one is slightly slimmer and taller, especially in the neck area. If you notice, the BUZZmod one barely has a neck, like the neck is buried between the shoulders and the vest, where the S.H.Figuarts one, the neck is really noticeable. The other thing that separates the two figures is the details. I'm really liking the ones from BUZZmod. As you can see there, the physique of Akaza is very sculpted versus the one from S.H.Figuarts, and that is what I mean by the S.H.Figuarts one having a soft design where it's not as strongly detailed versus the BUZZmod one. Here you can really see the key difference between the two figures. Just look at the muscle tone on the BUZZmod version versus the S.H.Figuarts one. This kind of reminds me of an Akaza that got really buffed before fighting versus one that kind of let go and is only slim. So he doesn't hit the gym as much and is just only eating healthy to keep the tone. Where the BUZZmod one, that guy is still going to the gym and he's hitting the weights very heavily. Therefore he's got a better physique. To me, the BUZZmod one aligns more to Akaza's representation in the anime versus the S.H.Figuarts variant. The other key difference is the waistbands. If you can see, the BUZZmod one, that one's more detailed and thicker compared to the S.H.Figuarts one. The other key difference is how the pins line up to the Akaza's body. They're slightly different. The other thing to note, and honestly, the details on the BUZZmod Akaza is way better than the ones from S.H.Figuarts. And the other thing that's really captivating to me is the face sculptures. The BUZZmod one, even though it had less, the sculptures for the face were done way better than S.H.Figuarts. And here's an example where the BUZZmod one, you could actually see a difference where the eyes, the eyebrows, and the face markings are, along with how the mouth is detailed with the demon teeth, versus the one for S.H.Figuarts. And that one, all the details are lost. To me, they just don't really pop at you. where it seems like they use the same color tone for the eyes and for the markings, and since the markings are not super thick and they're very light, it really blends in with the eye color, so you can't even see the yellow in his eyes, where the BUZZmod one you can still see the details there. The other thing in the expressions that I noticed is the one from BUZZmod looks a lot more menacing, more evil, where the S.H.Figuarts one, because the lines are really soft and the details are almost hidden, they're not as fully defined, he looks a lot more friendlier. The other thing to note, the vest that was made out of fabric from BUZZmod behaved a lot better than the soft plastic one from S.H.Figuarts. I think if the S.H.Figuarts one would have been one solid piece versus being attached by the shoulders and broken up into three, it would have performed much better than it did. So articulation points, I give it to S.H.Figuarts. Design wise and appearance of the figure, BUZZmod's a lot better. The other thing is the Akaza from BUZZmod had a lot of accessories, and it had way more different hands than the ones that were provided from S.H.Figuarts. So to me, I tend to lean more towards the BUZZmod one as well. Execution wise, I know they did different things in the articulating point, especially by the crotch area to give you that extra range of motion. So I think there S.H.Figuarts did so much better job than the BUZZmod figure goes. But execution wise and appearance wise, I'm gonna have to lean with the BUZZmod being the better figure in my opinion. So let me know in the comments what are your thoughts. But to me, if you're in the market and you're trying to figure out which one you want, I'd rather say go with the BUZZmod one. In addition to that, you could also display them with and without the vest as well, where S.H.Figuarts basically restricts you to only wearing the vest, and it's not even executed that well. This is all I have for you today. If you like what you have seen, don't forget to leave your like, subscribe to the channel, share the video, and I'll see you next week with a brand new one. Thank you and bye. And in case you haven't, make sure you check out my review of the BUZZmod figure of Akaza.